welcome to Coffee with a Kick, Copa America time now. We've got all the matches going on at the same time. Europe, North America, South America. I'm sure that something's going on in Oceania and Asia and Africa. That's actually not true, but, you know, we can only focus on so much, and right now we're focusing on it all. But we've got the USA hosted Copa America going on right now, actually. And we're going to go ahead and tell you what we think. That's why you're here, right? You're here to hear what we think, to learn how to, what is the term? It's to make friends and influence people. Is that the show? I don't know. It's some sort of book from the 80s.
There's a book, how to
make
it's just
friends,
how to win friends and influence people.
Win friends, that's it. Win friends and influence people. I'm not very good on that first part, actually, but I do know how to influence people. I am what you would call an influencer. That's not true at all. It's not true at all. But we're going to go ahead and influence your decisions when it comes to the Copa America. What do you want to say? Do you want to start off with our group predictions here?
Yeah, I say so. All
right. Well, then taking it from the top, we've got Group A for Argentina, Canada, Chile, and Peru. Argentina getting the worst draw out of all the teams here as a 1 seed, I would say, because the average score here, mainly because Argentina is pulling it up, but they've got some teams that could give them trouble, even though they are ranked number 1 in the world. However, I still think Argentina still has Messi, right? So Argentina still has Messi. I think they still go number 1 in this group, but I do have Chile beating out Peru for second in the group, with Peru taking third, and Canada, good job making it, or getting invited, I should say. But you're taking fourth on this one. Taking it right on the chin. That's what I've got for this.
Yeah, looking at the FIFA rankings, those can sometimes mean things, sometimes not. But Canada, they just have a couple of guys that are really good. And then the rest of their team, it's like an A team to a C team, and they just didn't have enough players to field an A team, so they brought the C team up. I don't know. I want to say Canada has a chance. I don't think they do. No. I think Chile also is a little bit overhyped. I think some of their good players are now kind of aging out. So I have Argentina continuing their unbeaten streak with taking the group. And I think they take it, winning all 3 matches.
Probably so.
I think Peru gets second, barely pipping out Chile, and then Canada gets fourth.
Yeah, Canada's got it tough in this one. Yeah, they could surprise some people, but if I were them, I'd hold my powder for when we, along with Mexico and Canada, host the World Cup in 26. When we all get an automatic bid in the expanded World Cup. So we'll see how that goes. Then for Group B, Mexico's group, it is Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, and Venezuela. Mexico, pretty good draw for them, all things considered. You're getting Jamaica and Venezuela, who are struggling of late. But I do think that Ecuador takes this group. I think that Ecuador takes first.
Wow.
And now, am I vindictive against Mexico because there are rivals? I am. So I do have Venezuela also taking second. Mexico with third, and Jamaica bringing up the rear. Listen, it's anybody who's in CONCACAF is probably going to take this on the chin. That's how these tournaments tend to go.
Yeah, it'll be I think it'll be a better group than people might think, but I still think Mexico's going to go 1. I think Ecuador's going to go 2. Venezuela and Jamaica, they just don't have any star power to their name. And maybe that plays to their advantage because they can play more as a team. But Ecuador, I think it really depends on how Moises Caicedo bounces back from his club season.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of their rock in the middle, and if he doesn't play well, Ecuador will not go through. It is going to really be on him to really push their team into the knockout stages. But I think they get it done. So Mexico, Ecuador. I think Venezuela takes third. Jamaica takes fourth.
Mm-hmm. And then to the America group. USA getting the best draw, I think, that you could hope for out of this. Really giving us the possibility of moving through. I mean, we have Uruguay in here as well, who is quite good, but they've struggled of late. But then Bolivia, 85th in the world, and Panama, 45. Now, we've had trouble with Panama in the past, but I think that USA makes it out of groups. I do think we take second. I think Uruguay figures some things out and goes first, with Bolivia actually edging out Panama to take third, with that meaning Panama goes fourth. But I do think we make it out of groups, which is, I think, a minimum hurdle for us to get, especially with this group draw.
Star talent-wise, I think USA is clear in a way the best team in this group, but I don't think right now they're the most cohesive team.
Yeah, definitely playing unevenly.
I also have US going second. I have Uruguay going first. I don't think Uruguay, I mean, they typically do pretty well group stage, and then when it gets to knockout stage, they kind of disappear. But I think they take the group. US, it's going to take them a game or two more to really get back into the swing of things. The run-up into Copa America has not been kind. No. So got to figure some things out. Panama, I think, is an obvious choice for third. Bolivia, they're happy to be here. So I think they get a point in some game, but I don't know if they're going to stand much a chance Panama in the group.
Yeah. They're happy to be here. They're the Georgia of this tournament. And then we move to the group D, the last group, with Brazil headlining, Colombia being runners-up, and then also Costa Rica and Paraguay. I think this was a good draw for Brazil, obviously, with it being Costa Rica and Paraguay. You know, you're not playing in Costa Rica, so that takes a lot of Costa Rica's They tend to play very well at home, just from CONCACAF qualifications, but they have to play in the United States for this one. So I think that Brazil takes first, but Costa Rica still takes second. I think Colombia actually gets bounced and takes third, with Paraguay bringing up fourth. Costa Rica's gritty. They aren't playing in their home, but I think they can mess up some of the flows that the South American teams like to play with. And CONCACAF is typically a pretty rough and tumble qualifying group. So we'll see how that fares. But I'm going to go out on a limb for them here. I've besmirched us plenty in the other groups for us to get one surprising result from a CONCACAF side.
I mean, I thought Mexico going out was already surprising.
On the good end of things. Mexico going out, yes, that's bad, but that's just because it's Mexico. Costa Rica on the positive side.
I'm going to be as about straightforward as I can with this group. And I just got to go Brazil 1, Colombia 2. Like, it seems like the talent there is big enough of a gap. And I think Costa Rica goes 3. I think they do put up a fight. They are a team that has always been gritty. They've always been in games. And I think Paraguay gets 4th and probably doesn't pick up any points. But it's hard for me to not pick Brazil and Colombia. The Copa America is always hard because once you get past the top 4 or 5 teams, there is a significant drop.
True.
In talent.
True.
Which is why you see a lot of these teams being more team-oriented, more structured, more defensive. But I don't know. This group, it's enough of a gap that I can't see Brazil and Colombia not going through.
I mean, it's a 40-place gap between Colombia and Costa Rica as far as FIFA rankings are concerned. So yes, I mean it's a significant upset to have Colombia go through. But you could see a misstep against the wrong team at the wrong time, and when you only have 3 group stage matches, that can really hurt. I mean, you just go look at some of the Euro 24 big teams that are going on right now, and it's dicey to say the least for some of the top teams. I'm looking at you. Croatia. Not looking great. But that's the other side of the globe, okay? All right, we'll go ahead and move directly into our picks for the matches, starting We'll say later today, probably. Wait. When do they actually kick off on Thursday?
7 p.m.
Okay, yes. Central. Later today. I'll be able to make that one. I'll be able to make that one for sure. In Atlanta, Georgia, in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is a nice place to play soccer. I mean, the Atlanta FC play there. It looks good. It's well attended there. So starting off nice. And with Argentina, Messi only has to make a little bit of a drive up from Miami to get there. So it'll be nice for him. I do think Argentina takes it to Canada 3-0. Pretty easy. A nice opener for them. Won't be quite the 5-1 that Germany pulled, but it's certainly still a nice start to the tournament for them.
I think it goes 5-0.
Wow.
I don't think it is the 5-1. I think it's 5-0 because I think Canada is not that good, and Argentina wants to – they've been playing really well. They want to continue playing well, but they also want to put their stamp on it that they're not just the World Cup winners, but they're here to actually win more trophies and start something. Yeah. So I could see them just coming out and just blasting Canada early and often. So 5-0 for me.
We are going to back up for a second because we didn't pick who we think is going to win the thing. Who do you think wins the whole thing? Do you think Argentina runs away with it? It's hard not to pick Argentina in this.
It's hard not to pick USA, but yeah, I think
I can't pick us. I can't do it.
Yeah, I think I have to go Argentina.
Yeah.
Like Brazil, they're good, but I just don't think they're the same Brazil team they've been in the past.
No.
Like Neymar's older.
Yep.
They have a couple of young guys who are talented, but they haven't been on this international stage yet. So I think it could be Argentina-Brazil final, but I think Argentina ends up winning it. Messi adds to his trophy cabinet. Hard to pick against them.
I'm trying not to. I have to go with it, though. I think Argentina is too good. I'm looking for big things from Julian Alvarez, right? He looked good this season in some appearances for City, so we'll see.
Yeah, Argentina, they're like the UConn in men's basketball this past year.
Yeah.
It was like, they're only beating teams by 19 points per game.
Yeah.
Do I pick it's hard to not pick them. And of course they dominated. That's kind of Argentina right now. I mean, they're blowing teams out. They're undefeated in their last, I think with their one loss, it's something ridiculous. Like they've won 60 of their last 61 games. They've been unbeaten.
Wow.
So they're on a tear, and it just feels like they're not going to slow down as long as Messi is still in the side.
Yeah, because he can still be that focal point for other teams without actually needing to be the focal point for Argentina. You know what I mean? It's like people still look at him because he's Messi, but there are other people in Argentina who can contribute and be and are stellar players. So I think we have to go. We both have to go with Argentina. But back to the matches themselves. Next up for us is on Friday, the other Group A match in Arlington, Texas, at AT&T Stadium, where those Dallas Cowboys play. Peru and Chile. What do you have this one going as?
I mean, I think Peru is going to go through in this group. So I have Peru winning 2-1.
See, I have the opposite. So I have Chile winning 3-2. I think this is a fun match. But we'll see. It'll give us a nice gauge of how the rest of this group is going to go, because it's going to be a contest for who gets second in this group and gets the other berth into the knockout stages. So this is a good barometer for where the rest of Group A is going to go, obviously. Then to Saturday, which has both of our Group B matches. Mexico starts off with Jamaica in NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. And then Ecuador and Venezuela play at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Since I have Mexico going out, I did have to pick this as a 2-2 draw for Jamaica. Just to get the ball rolling on maybe Mexico stumbles a little bit. And then for Ecuador and Venezuela, I've got Ecuador taking it 2-0 over Venezuela.
Yeah, it's hard to, again, see Jamaica getting any points. I mean, they could. I'm going to go Mexico wins 3-1.
Yeah.
And then Ecuador, I think, takes it to Venezuela. And I think Venezuela scores late to make it interesting, but I think it's 2-1 in that one as well. I think both games, the Mexico and Ecuador will kind of assert their dominance and really keep it for most of the match. But again, this is even more of a wild card tournament than the Euros.
Right.
The Euros, you can at least be like, I mean, I've seen those guys play.
Right.
And I've seen a majority of their team play in club, so I kind of know what to expect. Copa America, it's like some of these guys are playing in the Guadalajara and B League, and they're going to come out and just smash in a goal. So we don't know.
Yeah. They can certainly make themselves some money during this tournament. We get found out and get taken over to Europe maybe. Then on Sunday, we've got Group C, USA and Bolivia, also in Arlington, Texas at AT&T Stadium. And then Uruguay and Panama at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. How do you have Group C action going for Sunday?
I feel it in my bones. The USA is going to let Bolivia score first.
Yes.
Ultimately, they win.
Classic.
Yeah, ultimately they win 3-1.
Okay.
I would hope that we win by more and it look very dominating.
Yeah.
I just don't think we're there yet.
No.
So I think we beat them because Bolivia is so bad. This is a dream first match for Greg Berhalter, but I think we take it 3-1. Uruguay, I think, beats Panama 2-0. They feel like a team that always has the striker, the one midfielder, and like the two center backs, and that's really it.
Yeah.
Everyone else on their team you're not even sure who they are, where they're from, but they're at least of Uruguayan descent. So
that is true.
I don't know. 2-0. That's what I'll go with. I have no idea how it's going to go.
Yeah, I've got the same sort of vibe for the Bolivia. I have it as 2-1, so even closer than that. I think we get a late goal to push us over the top. Maybe it's even Gio Reyna to make up for his lackluster. We'll give him a lackluster last 12 months, to put it kindly. And then for Uruguay and Panama, I've got 3-1 for Uruguay. I think that they announced their intention to move on in this one here. How far do they make it? I would say they might make it to semis, Uruguay. But it'll depend a lot on how the matchups go in the knockout stages. Then on Monday, we wrap up the first matches of group stage with Brazil and Costa Rica at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And then Colombia and Paraguay at NRG Stadium in Houston. Another one in Houston there. For this, I think Brazil... I think it's a pretty exciting match, actually. I think it goes 4-2, Brazil and Costa Rica. But still Brazil, maybe there's it's 4-1 and there's a late goal by Costa Rica that Brazil just kind of isn't paying attention for. And then for Colombia and Paraguay, I think this goes 1-1 because I do need Colombia to get bounced by Costa Rica. So I got this as a shock 1-1 result for Colombia and Paraguay.
Yeah, I think I have 3-0 Colombia, Paraguay, and then I'm going to go 3-1 Brazil, Costa Rica, but I think Brazil has to get 2 late goals to win it.
Okay.
I think Costa Rica, they're a team that if they can get a goal in the first half, they can hunker
it in. Yeah.
Similarly to Vietnam in the late 60s, early 70s, if they hunker in, they can't be beaten. So I think Costa Rica tries that approach, and they don't win the match, but they get close.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like 1-1 and Brazil gets a goal, so Costa Rica starts to open up a little bit to try to get the point back, and then Brazil takes advantage of them late on. Yeah, you can see that. You can certainly see that happening, that with Brazil being as talented as they are. But that is what we've got for match day 1. We'll be back We'll be back at some point. Just keep an eye on the channel. We've got lots of episodes. I said earlier that for the summer we're looking at maybe 1 episode a week. We're looking at like 3, 4 episodes. I don't know. I am pumping them out as quickly as I can. I'll tell you that much. But we'll be back to break this all down. Probably there will be a Euro one first. But until we get over there, wherever that may be, why don't you go ahead and grab some coffee, watch some soccer, and we'll see you on the other side. Aloha. It means hello and goodbye.